Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton of markrushton.com. It is Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. And this video is called I Just Want Beautiful Things on the Wall. Kind of like this painting. But first, I'll talk about that in a second here. But I released some music today. Not that anybody cares. Because I end up always having to throw this into playlists and getting them out there. And then over time, people hear it. And, they either like it or they don't. That's how I kind of feel about it. But I just want to let everybody know here. I do have a playlist out there, a public playlist on Spotify. It's called the Ambient Rushton Podcast Rotating Playlist. I don't do the Ambient Rushton Podcast anymore. I got tired of that. And I quit podcasting after 17 years or something like that. Finally quit. Because putting together a show is kind of a pain. I'd rather do these like live things and kick them out there. That's fine. I mean, I'm not going to be your host or anymore or your DJ or whatever. And look at that. 3 people liking it, following it to some degree. When I add things to it, they probably get some sort of a notification. And I just added 3 tracks to it here in the last day. Blurred Buddhas by Cloud Drift. There's a whole album of that sort of stuff called Amazing Clouds that was released yesterday. And then a new single by Cannabis Unanimous, 10-piece hand-breaded chicken. That's in the vein of a little bit slowed down voice and word play, word jazzish sort of cut up technique stuff, rambling over a beat. And then Vibrating Wires, Waiting for the Train. And that's just scratching around kind of in between Derek Bailey and Jandek, sort of desolate lap steel noisy stuff. But in the vein of ambient. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff and much more ambient, beat-driven electronica, and there might be a few droney things out there, down tempo beats, that sort of thing. The Ambient Rushton Podcast rotating playlist. I will rotate that out of here. And so let's get to the topic here. Yeah, I just want beautiful things on the wall, like paintings like this here. I think this is called Clay Wall. This is in my catalog somewhere, and this is one of the scanned images in here. Why is it a square? I was thinking about that just right now. You know why? Because I probably screwed the painting up. It was probably a much wider painting, either like 8.5 by 11, 12 by 16, something like that. And I messed something up, that had a disaster. Something happened, and so my attitude was like, it was probably like right here on the left side. We're just cut it here and see what it looks like. Oh, it looks great. I'll keep it. It's a keeper. So that's one thing I don't do. I try not to do, is unless it's a complete disaster or destroyed or damaged in some way, I like to keep using it. And of course, scanning it, I can always use it for recordings, backgrounds, things like that. Probably somebody stealing it right now. Not a big deal. Go ahead and steal it. I'd see where you get. The world's just going to be all locked down and sniffed and verified in the future, as far as a tin eye and and content ID and it's I'll be able to make a claim in the future and make some money off of you. Don't worry about it, right? There doesn't have to be lawsuits. We can just settle this through the corporations, right? Yeah. But yeah, I just want beautiful things on the wall. I've kind of come around to that recently. I've come around to just trying to, as an artist, a recording artist, a fine artist in this case. I just want beautiful things. And what was it? It was Renoir. It was Renoir who said to Bonnard, "Make things more beautiful." And as far as paintings, whatever you're painting, make it more beautiful. And those guys, they did make it more beautiful. And so that's what I try to do. It tries to be my philosophy, except for the really dark, weird stuff or whatever. But I mean, look at this here. This is an acrylic ink on Tyvek synthetic paper painting. The lower section here likely has acrylic paint in it. That's what it looks like to me, or it's one of the thicker acrylic inks, which I've got them all like right over here. There's the kind that you can buy at um, what was it? Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby's got the thickest. I don't know what, I can't remember the brand, but it's so pigmented, and but I think that's acrylic. I think that's acrylic ink that has been mixed in there and then uh, removed. What do I call that? A subtractive process or something like that. There's another term for it, but reductive. Reductive. It's like I'm making a French sauce or something, right? And then going over it again with additional bits of acrylic ink, because that's the thing about acrylic ink. It's once you have it on there, and if you don't know what you're doing, and it can become a mess just like that, super easy, or to make a huge disaster. So if you don't know how to do that, or if you don't know how to cover it up, and it's taken me many years of experience to figure that out, then you can come up with something like this that really looks kind of otherworldly, but in a way, keeping with my theme of sort of an abstract landscape, abstract country landscape. So yeah, I want beautiful things like this on the walls. You know, I don't necessarily want a small piece. I want to be able to scan it. I want to be able to have it printed out, dye sublimation, and heat press onto aluminum sheets, canvas, wood panels and stuff like that, which is that's coming down the road. That is coming down the road in the future, several months in the future at a minimum. And because I would love to take something like this and just and make it as big as that canvas thing in the back there, old shiny, and just have, I don't know how what, like 4 feet by 5 feet or something like that. I know it costs just a tremendous amount of money to have that done, but even something that was like 2 feet 2 feet by 3 feet. I mean, I could almost do that on my own with equipment that I could purchase. I don't know if I'd want to do that. I'd be ruining aluminum sheets left and right. But the process of being able to create that these days with the technology that's available is very, that interests me much more so than painting on canvas, right? And I don't know. Yeah, I just want beautiful things on the wall. I don't I'm going to get into it just a little bit here, and then I'll finish. One thing that really disturbs me about the art world is and I started seeing this in art school, and it's probably been around forever to some degree or whatever, but the obsession, all the different obsessions, and it's not even like, well, you should use oils instead of acrylics, or you should boil your own rabbit skin glue, or you must only use this type of brush, or it's very, people really have their ways, and that's fine, and I can't expect it to be I can't expect to know everything and do everything perfectly. Are you a great artist? Are you great? And what constitutes a great artist? Well, you must be like this or that or something else, or must have an education and a million degrees. Well, you know what? Those guys hundreds of years ago didn't have millions of degrees. They were apprentices, and they worked for the church. Right there, up there, just gonna. I'll just hold on. He's naked, right? And so you had all that sort of stuff. You had your patrons back then, which was the church, or the extremely wealthy. And today, I don't know. I just want to have beautiful things on everybody's wall. That's it. And that's why I do not pay attention to the art news. I don't care about who's famous and who's getting a show. And I don't know. I don't care. I do not care. I don't, yeah, art school, they were starting to get obsessed with traits. And you know what I mean by traits? It's who you're dating, and how much, where your family came from, and whether you're male or female or somewhere in between, or yeah, just like I don't care. I don't care about that sort of stuff. And where has art gone over the years? It's suddenly, you're just I don't know. I stay away. I'm staying away from all that. I don't care. That's I see all that, and it's like that's maybe I might want to avoid galleries in the future, at least in my area, because it's uh I'm more about the painting and the person that is interested in it, and where it's going to be, and how it situates, and the colors, and does it work, and that sort of thing. Who cares when my family came over from Scotland or Sweden or England, or what your dad was or something, like, what is that, right? What part of town did you come from? It's like, what? What how does that matter into art, right? But you see it everywhere. And ugh. So that's not in my mindset. My mindset is about uh trying to get this sort of vision out here, and get it into some sort of format that has longevity, as from a point of view of construction, and making it so that it doesn't become damaged, or it's not faulty in any way. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. And it's something that you've got something on your walls, something beautiful on your wall. Somebody comes over and there's, wow, what is that? Wow, that is so cool, right? That's unique. That's interesting. People are very different about what they want on their walls. Some people just want a printed photo of their kids and dog, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Some people want the cheapest thing at the home goods store or whatever, or Pier 1 back in the day, right? Or they're looking for something, right? But this is what I'm interested in. This is the kind of stuff I put on my walls at my house. You know, I make art initially for my walls, and then if other people, I've said too much. I'm done, and my wife's going to be home soon, and somebody's cooking dinner, not me. Talk to you later.